And trying to get it in. Lobs. Johnson will track it down, and that will do it. What a way for it to finish. A game that was in the 20s in the first half. Both teams came out hot the second half, and Tennessee holds on for a 56-53 victory. A thriller here. We got more basketball coming your way. Let's get you to Bryant College Station, or at least a facsimile thereof, from his basement. And alongside Damian Fishback, here's my buddy Dave Neal.
Well, the good news for the Aggies is that offensively, we've seen them respond, and that's what you want to see. The bad news is that you have LSU playing like the LSU of old, which is scoring at a high clip.
Welcome those of you watching Tennessee take down Mississippi State by a couple in Knoxville. Dave Neal and Damian Fishback coming to you from Reed Arena, College Station, Texas, where LSU got off to a 10-2 start, but Texas A&M has scrapped back, scored the last 5, but then LSU answers right back. Another 3. That is their third 3 in the first 4.5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, if you're wondering which LSU team you're going to see, is the one that's putting up a lot of points. You have all of their weapons working in cohesion right now. And that guy with the basketball, number 24 in white, is playing with a lot of confidence.
Cam Thomas already with 5 points. Darius Days with 6 for LSU. Days can't get that corner 3 to go. And a trip. So 15:09 to go in the first half. LSU's lost 2 in a row. A&M's lost 2 in a row. Somebody's streak is getting stopped tonight.
And on the other side for LSU, it's good to see them get back into the swing of things. Coach Will Wade, he said, not only have we been struggling in particularly getting the defensive rebound and guarding a little bit, but offensively we hadn't been where we're at. Both teams seem like they're doing much better today.
Low-scoring affair in our game before between Tennessee and Mississippi State. Neither team cracked the 60-point barrier. They'll dump it inside to the big fella for Jonathan Aku. Still battling and got it to go down. Take a look at our Farm Rich on the floor for LSU. Javonte Smart, Cameron Thomas, who leads the conference in scoring. Trenton Watford, third in the league in scoring. Milwani Wilkinson and Darius Days. And a whistle will stop play for a moment. As we take a look at Texas A&M's on the floor, brought to you by Farm Rich, J.J. Chandler, Diarra, Flagg, Hefner, and Aku. Not the way they started the game. This is how they're going to go at it now with 2 freshmen and 2 sophomore on the floor. And here is one of those freshmen, Hassan Diarra, out of Queens, New York.
I like the bounce and the step that I see from the Aggies right now. When you don't have veteran leadership, a lot of times it's hard for you to get that transition that you want to from your younger players. They've got that veteran leadership today.
Jonathan Aku gets that basket, makes it a 4-point game, and then an offensive foul will give it right back to the Aggies. Savion Flagg, who leads this team in drawn charges, just did it for the 9th time this season.
Well, you see Savion Flagg there. He does a nice job of just planting his feet outside of the semicircle to make sure that he doesn't get called for the block. And right now, this is getting more into the style and type of Aggie game that I know Coach Buzz Williams would like to see.
Well, I'm going to have to ask him if I could borrow some socks. Every time they draw a charge, they get a pair of socks from their coach, and their picture goes up in the film room.
That's good stuff, isn't it?
I need some socks.
The most comfortable socks on planet Earth are the NBA socks, Dave Neal.
That's what I hear.
Oh, big boy basketball.
Yeah. Nothing comfortable about that. Josh LeBlanc, the transfer out of Georgetown, throwing one down.
Well, this is what happens when you play a matchup zone. There was miscommunication that time. both Aggie players went to one defender, and you see a nice finish at the rim, and it was even better vision, on the perimeter.
So LeBlanc, the forward out of Baton Rouge, had to sit out the first 4 games after transferring from Georgetown last January. Now playing in his 11th game of the season, averaging a little over 2 points a game. Aku spins. Foot with the left hand, couldn't get it to go, and LeBlanc with the rebound.
Yeah, good energy. 6'7", 230 pounds. I like the swagger and demeanor that he's playing with right now. He's been the aggressor. Well, that's one Sharif O'Neal's got to finish. Big Pops would have turned around, drop step, and pulled the backboard down, wouldn't he, Dave Neal?
It would have definitely rattled, no doubt about it.
No, big guys develop later, and he's obviously transferred and is just now continuing to get back healthy and learn the system of Coach Wade. He can shoot it.
Thought he got bumped on that shot. No whistle. Back the other way. Flag. Nice pass to Hefner. Good ball movement. 3 ball on the way. No good. Flag with the offensive rebound and the putback.
And that's a challenge that LSU had. They were minus 15 on the glass versus Kentucky. You see they have already given up 7 second chance points to the Aggies today. Got to go stronger than that. He's long. He's got to take his time. Right now, he's the biggest guy as far as length and athleticism on the floor. He doesn't have to be in any rush.
There's a turnover from Diarra. Now Javonte Smart. Woo! Nice pat to Watford, who lays it in.
Beautiful. Graceful. 6'9". I think he's one of the more underrated players in college basketball. He kind of takes a back seat to Cam Thomas, who leads the league in scoring. But when they need baskets like they were on the road against Kentucky, he's the guy who can get it for them. And he also is a tremendous playmaker as well, as you see him now out playing the point forward.
Watford, 8th in the conference in assists. You go, okay, well, that's just one number. Well, he's 3rd in scoring and 7th in rebounds. That's pretty good combo.
Mr. Versatility.
Here is Watford. Smart. Boy, just a little move to the right gave him the opportunity to bury the 3.
Yeah, he's got what I call phone booth jump shooting ability. It doesn't take him a lot of space, Dave Neal. That's why you saw him just step to the right a little bit. He's the one player who you see getting up shots before every single game. He's one of the hardest workers, and particularly when it comes to his jump shooting, and it shows in his ability to knock down the 3-point shot.
That won't go. Tapped around by Aku. Right back to Diarra, and he is fouled. Good work by Aku down there, battling with 2 and 3 white jerseys every possession.
He could have came back making a ton of excuses. Instead, he has come back and taken the league by storm. You know, what he's done on and off the court as far as his leadership role with Auburn, the change that you've seen in Auburn, how their game's been elevated, I think certainly puts him in the conversation.
John Sumvold already gave him the player of the year. He didn't. He says he's already got his vote.
hey, Sumvold gave him player of the year because he's thinking, man, I would have loved to play with that guy. I would have
exactly
put up 70 a game.
You're right.
He's right, too.
LSU's up by 9, 23-14, just under 10 minutes to go. First half. Dave Neal, Damian Fishback. Glad you could join us tonight. LSU trying to snap, and Texas A&M trying to snap their 2-game losing streaks. Deep 3 on the way. That one is off the mark. LeBlanc underneath with the rebound. They're going to say a tie-up, and the arrow favors LSU. So LeBlanc has come in and certainly had an impact on this game in his few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and you say his few minutes. It doesn't take him a lot of time to make an impact. You have to think about his history, right? 39 games at Georgetown in the season and a half, 14 minutes with 5 points and 8 rebounds in the Sam Houston game. He fits the system of Coach Will Wade because it doesn't take him a lot of time to have an impact on the game.
Step back from Thomas, and you can count it as Gordon pushed him to the floor on the shot, and he'll head to the free throw line.
Well, so that's just like the oven, right? Once the oven gets hot, you got to stay away from it. Let it cool off a little bit. Well, it's the exact opposite here. You have to keep him from getting the basketball. Thomas obviously feels it in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. You're going to have a chance to see another outstanding freshman if he's back by that time, in Cade Cunningham. But I think Cam Thomas, along with Jalen Suggs, one of the better freshmen, not only in the SEC, but in the country.
Cam Thomas, 8 points to lead LSU. Savion Flagg leading Texas A&M off the bench with 7. There's a whistle to stop play. It looks like there'll be a foul underneath against Kawani Wilkinson. That'll be his first, and that'll be the team's 5th.
I like the mindset by the Aggies right now, trying to get the basketball into the paint.
Emmanuel Miller.
There you go.
Got it to the paint, and he got the basket in the process.
There's just no rim protection in there right now for LSU. So you want to attack the paint and be fearless in the way you attack it.
Aku with the rebound, averages 3 a game. Here's Gordon. That was Miller's first basket of the game, by the way, averaging over 16 a game a moment ago. Step back 3, in and out. And a push in the back as Aku again fighting for that rebound. He has been very active on the offensive glass here tonight.
Well, you mentioned Emmanuel Miller. You know, I think that he is extremely judicious in his attack. But I think he has to be more aggressive. Listen, if you're on a team that's averaging 80 points, you know, plus, if you got a plethora of scores like LSU, then you can be apprehensive or a little passive, if you will. But he's got a big, strong body. He needs to attack. And that's what the coaches are telling him. He needs to attack, get to the free throw line, and try to create for himself and others, but obviously do that without being overly aggressive and turning the basketball over.
Pat Adams, just saw him, our crew chief, joined by Olandis Poole and Brian O'Connell. That one is off the mark. Rebound to Javonte Smart. Javonte, kick out. You know what's going up here, and that's a shot from the corner from Thomas.
Was there any doubt?
No.
I'll take that look every time, though, if
yes.
I'm LSU.
A 3-point shooting, 1 of 11 for Texas A&M. Gordon. It's it to Jackson. Gordon. Now 1 out of 12. Rebound to LeBlanc.
Dave, let's keep our eye on it. Let's see how many times either team gets it into the paint. You have got to get the basketball into the paint in order to be effective. Here's LSU there. It goes inside out. What a rebound by Trent.
Oh, what a rebound. Went high over everybody and got the lay-in. That looked old school, almost like a guy you played with, Chris Porter, just getting up over everybody.
Hey, I'm a huge Trendon Watford fan, but you gotta be a little patient now. Christopher Porter now. That's a different type of grit. Beautiful.
That is hard to stop. Cam Thomas, you see why he leads the league in scoring, inside, outside. Buzz Williams not happy with the way the defense has let him down the last couple of possessions. LSU by 14.
Well, I wouldn't be happy either. Cam, I can't wait to get to the rim. Thomas is a fit advantage if he's got a smaller guy. He's got him back to the basket game. Big boy basketball, over the top, makes it look extremely easy, and that's why I think he's a next-level player. 6'9", 240-pound sophomore who I think is mobile enough, athletic enough, and cerebral enough to be an outstanding pro.
Yeah, you know, and he just you look at him, just as a guy that watches a lot of NBA and college hoops, he certainly fits the model of the NBA guy now, right? I mean, he is the big size. He can certainly add some strength, but he's a big boy that can do a bunch of things for you. He just looks like he belongs in what the NBA is today.
Yeah, he's a point forward. And other than the point guard position, the point forward position is slowly but surely becoming one of the more important positions still left in this game of positionless basketball. You think about guys like Kevin Durant who can bring the basketball up and distribute the basketball as well. Guys who can still put you on their back. Zion Williams was more of a point forward when he was at Duke. Could still bring the basketball up at that point forward position and take advantage as a mismatch, but they're still big and strong enough to be able to defend bigger players on the interior.
Third in scoring in the league. 8th in assists. And that field goal percentage is good enough for 5th. And a foul on the pass. As LSU's up by 12, Emmanuel Miller will pick up that personal. Hey, tomorrow, right here on this very network, and of course you can always see it on the ESPN app. I think that's a given by now. Great doubleheader. Vandy in Florida, 6:30 Eastern, followed by Ole Miss in Arkansas at Bud Walton Arena. That's all coming your way tomorrow night. Some more SEC basketball as LSU gets another 2-pointer to drop. Thomas already up to 12 points now.
Yeah, well, right now for the Aggies, they have to keep this game within striking distance. And so what you don't want, and I don't think they can allow, is to LSU have more than 40 points before the half. And I know you're thinking, well, they already had 32. What's the chance of them not getting 3 more threes? But I just don't think the Aggies can put up 80 points. And so in order to win this game, I think the Aggies could get maybe 65 or even 70 on a good night. But you've got to get stops here defensively, which will enhance your offense as well. See if they can turn LSU over a little bit.
Boy, Buzz is working right through that pink shirt tonight. He likes to make a couple of changes. I'm sure we'll see a new shirt here in the second half of this one. Ball will stay with LSU. 17 on the shot clock. Josh Gray checks in and swings it for the corner 3 ball. Javonte Smart knocking it home. And Javonte with his 3rd 3 of the night.
52 points shy of becoming the 43rd LSU player to score 1,000 career points. That's going to be a lot less after this game.
So Savion Flagg gets that to go down. A&M now just 2 of 14 from behind the arc. Makes it a 14-point game. By the way, I jumped ahead of myself there. I gave Javonte an extra 3. He now has 2 threes, not 3. Here's a takeaway by the Aggies, and the scoop shot by Diarra goes in.
That's what I was talking about right there, Dave. They have to get more off of their defense, but that's the problem that Coach Buzz Williams has, as you see him kind of grabbing his head, is even though they can score off the defensive end when they get into transition, and that's what Kentucky did a good job of as well against LSU, the problem is they don't really want to get up and down with LSU. So Buzz Williams wants to run on turnovers when he wants to run, but he doesn't want to allow LSU to get out and run against him.
Cameron Thomas, wrong guy at the line if you're an Aggie fan. He
I
shoots
saw you pause.
88%.
You thought you jinxed him, didn't you?
I know I did. I took a deep breath. I was like, dang, did I just do that?
We don't believe it. We don't believe in that, Dave Neal.
No, we don't. But then I did just take a deep breath right as he rattled that off the rim. So maybe there is something to it. I don't know.
Say it with confidence, man. That man's an 88% free throw shooter.
Right. He shoots it with confidence. I should say it with confidence.
There you go.
Right. He had a streak earlier this year where he made 42 straight at the line, which ended against Georgia back on January 6th. That's an LSU record. That's a good-looking deep 3. J.J. Chandler needs to get more of that going. He's a 22% three-point shooter on the year. They need more from him for sure.
Well, J.J. Chandler is actually similar to a couple of other Aggie players, and he's streaky. But when he gets hot, him, Quentin Jackson, Xavier Flagg, they have the ability to put up some points. Solid
shot clock to 2. Didn't look like they got that off. But regardless, it'll be a shot clock violation and a good defensive stand by Texas A&M. Aggies third in the conference, allowing just 64 points a game. Opponents shoot 44% from the field, 33% from three-point line as Texas A&M gets another one to drop. J.J. Chandler has hit back-to-back threes. Give the assist to Xavier Flagg. Chandler with 8 points, and it's now an 8-point game. So I'd appreciate it if you'd work next Saturday.
You know, Burns works when he wants to work, you know?
Yeah, it's good to be Peter, isn't it?
Every once in a while. He's like you. He spends all of his time on a golf course. Just talking about what wealthy people do. How about this 1-2-2 zone that the Aggies are producing some of those turnovers that Pat Bradley was talking about, Dave Neal?
It was. Their defense, Texas A&M, has certainly in the last 5 minutes changed. I don't want to say demeanor, but certainly defensively they have changed. And this zone that they're playing has been a real problem here the last few possessions for LSU. Tough shot by Tom. Are you kidding me?
That's tough. That's tough. But that's why LSU has the ability to make it to the second weekend if they begin to defend on a regular basis. And they're going to have to defend not only tonight, but really in the Texas Tech game in the Big 12 SEC Challenge.
So you defend for 25 seconds on that possession, right? And you're scrambling, you're playing well, you create a tough shot, and then you give up that basket. Right? It's got to be deflating.
Yeah, LSU has quite a few tough shot makers. Javonte Smart, Cam Thomas, Trenton Wofford, who we've spoken about. And Days makes good shots, but he doesn't make as many tough shots.
Deep three from Watford, no good. And then a little bump on the rebound by O'Neal as he knocks Kevin Marfo down to the hardwood. Marfo, a transfer in from Quinnipiac, who led the country in rebounds last year. He averaged a double-double, 10 and 13. But I will say this, a little different rebounding in the Southeastern Conference.
Well, and the SEC has differentiated itself, number one, by the amount of professional athletes it produces year in and year out. You're talking about 12 the last couple of years, and 6 of those being in the first round. And so if you are successful in the SEC, it's proven that you're going to have a good chance to not only be drafted, but also be successful at the next level as well.
Opportunity here, Xavier Flagg lays it up and in. Xavier having a nice first half now for Texas A&M. He leads him in scoring with 14 coming off the bench. J.J. Chandler hounding the basketball, tapped around. They're going to call a foul against the Aggies, and everybody on that bench.
Why did he get animated, Dave? Huh? Why did he get involved a little bit? Why did he show some emotion on that sideline? And you can see it's infectious with the team. This isn't a team that's playing like they're 2-5 in SEC play. They're playing like a team that's got some culture that's being built. They want to win the basketball game. And I'm anxious to see LSU because they should be just as hungry after coming off a couple of losses last week against 2 quality teams.
That's the 6th foul against Texas A&M. Buzz sweating right through that shirt. You know what? His care factor on a scale of 1 to 10 is about a 15 right now.
Hey, it's working, though. Look at it. We talked about 39, 40 points. They're on their way, and they're scoring baskets as well. The key has been two things. We talked about it, the ability to score off of their defense. They're now beginning to rattle LSU a little bit. LSU at times can be loose with the basketball. And so as they continue to turn the basketball over, A&M has really made sure that they've captured those turnovers and been able to produce points.
Keep an eye on Buzz as his team working in the far end of the court. Shot clock down to 8. Deep three on the way. Rattles in. Come on.
Did I tell you they were streaky? And now the Aggies are on a good streak. So right now you've got J.J. Chandler, who is hot, proving that he can put up 20 points plus in a basketball game. Quentin Jackson is the same way. If I'm Coach Buzz Williams, I am riding the hot hand.
A&M has hit their last 6 shots. They have cut this thing to 3. Tapped around and one underneath by Quentin Jackson. Here's J.J. Chandler. J.J. trying to find a little bit of room. Gets it to Jackson. Not a good shot. And a foul on that loose ball against the Aggies. But that'll stop it with 1:14 to go before halftime. Nice little run by Texas A&M. Hey, coming up next, the SEC Now team will have a complete breakdown of tonight's games as well as interviews with coaches and players. It's coming your way at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app.
And you'll get to see all 3 of those guys on Wednesday.
They will talk about the SEC football schedule that's coming out tomorrow. Watford misses the free throw, so there's still a chance to keep LSU under 40 before the break.
You didn't think that when I said it, did you?
No, I did not. You even said I wasn't thinking it. There was 3.5 minutes to go, and they were at 32.
Well, A&M scoring has helped them just as much as their defense because they've been able to have their defense set. This is when LSU can be dangerous. Missed shots, turnovers, and open break. You're trying to find them.
And Thomas gets his own miss.
Good hustle.
LSU will reset it. Xavion Flagg working on Watford. Little double team help comes. Tapped around. Nice job by Flagg to tip it to himself. He'll start the lead. Throws it up. No whistle. Thought he wanted to get a foul on that possession. Watford slams it. Better be careful. Trenton Watford in frustration just slammed that ball off the court.
Yeah, not sure where that's coming from. Maybe he felt like he got fouled on the previous play where that ball came up short, but that's not the way that he needs to respond. He's got to maintain his composure, or he could be frustrated with himself because he missed the shot. Regardless, the foul and allowing a team that's already truly prolific in manufacturing points on a regular basis. I thought Kentucky defended them well, held them, I think, 16 or 17 points below their season average.
Well, they have gone 322 without a point. J.J. Chandler just picked up his second foul. Watford to the line and gets the first one to go. They almost did it, Finn. They almost did it.
Well, we said above
seconds.
40. We said above 40.
Okay.
So if they can hold them to, and listen, 36 points. We got us an incredible basketball game here.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you think about LSU's largest lead here in the first half was 17. And they have rattled back despite shooting 39% to make this a 5-point game, and they could have the final possession of the half if they so choose.
I like the chess move here by Coach Will Wade before the half. 1-3-1 zone.
Here's Marfo. Well, he just threw that one way up in the air, but caught over there by Diarra. 3 seconds. Step back three. And that one's blocked. Good defensive stand in the half court by LSU. But A&M's got to feel pretty good to cut this from 17 down to 5 as we finish the first half of basketball. LSU leads at 41-36 behind 16 from Cam Thomas. That'll do it for the first 20. Let's get you to the studio. Peter, Pat, take it away.
They cannot outscore this LSU Tiger team. On the other side for LSU, they're going to have to continue to work on their defense because the Aggies have proven that they are a formidable opponent.
Will Wade sticking with the golf shirt. We just saw the change of attire. I mean, that's how hard Buzz Williams was working that first half. He just ditched the vest and the dress shirt, and he's going with the A&M T-shirt now.
It's real out here, Dave Neal. It's real, boss.
A&M wearing their black and pink uniforms today to beat the hell out of breast cancer game. Also, coaches versus cancer game. So, coaches wearing their sneakers. Although hard to tell this year, right? I mean, everything seems to be, everybody's going casual, except maybe Buzz.
Right. Well, Buzz told me in the studio, he said, Fish, don't dress down. He said, dress every day like it's your Easter Sunday.
I think that was a shot at me because it was after one of our games and I'm wearing my sweater vest.
Look at that rebound and pass by Darius Days. He makes winning plays.
And there's a look at the new Ultra Boost from Adidas that Coach is busting out. The Ultra Boost 21. Got those, had those busted out in the first half.
Well,
good looking shoe. You know what, Fish? You'd look good in those, man.
I appreciate that. I don't know, but I'd certainly try to wear them for you, partner. I love anybody who's fighting against that horrific disease. So many of us have lost ones that are close to us, and whether it's Coaches versus Cancer, the different organizations, different universities. ESPN does a tremendous job with Dick Vitale, and anytime you have a chance to fight against that disease that's affected so many of us, I think it's awesome.
I know you had a tough go with it with your mom, recently passed, but she battled and fought like crazy.
Ooh, 4 times and then gave a 5th time a run for his money, Dave.
Yeah.
Blessed.
So
blessed.
I get where you're coming from on that. Good to see the Aggies doing their part. It'll belong with Texas A&M here.
Dave, this first 2 to 4 minutes are so critical because LSU can go on runs. We saw that in the first half. For the Aggies, they've got to just hang on and try to keep some game pressure on LSU so those free-flowing jump shots that they love to take won't be so free-flowing. That'll help them.
Boy, nice play. Just really simple, but nice play. And then a turnover back the other way. And how about a 5-point play in a matter of 5 seconds for the Aggies as J.J. Chandler lays it in.
All it takes is a spark.
Cam Thomas had it stripped out of his hands by Diarra and back the other way. Here is Hassan. Boy, nice defensive work and good hands from Darius Days. Up ahead to Smart. He's fouled, and you can count the basket.
One thing that I love about this LSU team is no matter what they go through, they stick together. Rarely do you ever see an LSU Tiger getting upset with their own teammate. And even when that does happen, it's almost like, family members getting upset with each other. Listen, LSU lost at Kentucky, a team who I think is now beginning to peak in spite of the loss at Alabama, a team that's good enough to win it all. And then their other loss, of course, was against Alabama, who knocked down 23 three-pointers. So they're not far off, but because of the expectations and the success that LSU has had, you go through a week like that and get beat the way they did, and it raises some eyebrows.
And A&M answers the three-point play on the other end with their own. Nice drive to the basket from LaDamian Bradford, the freshman out of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Dave, there's a lot of things that really help you in the game of basketball. A nice jump shot, skill set, ability to pass. But there's nothing like confidence that breeds confidence amongst your teammates. And that's what's happening right now with the Aggies in this second half.
So Bradford came into this game 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 4 from behind the arc. He had just 1 point all season long as he had played in 11. This is his 11th game, and he just had a 3-point play. Good for him. Cam Thomas out on the wing. Quick jab step, misses the jumper. And if you're Will Wade, Fish, we talked about it with Thomas, right? He's a volume guy. And he had been struggling with his three-point shot the last couple of games in particular, really over the last 5 if you want to go back a couple of weeks. But Coach Wade says that's what you got to live with. As a teammate,
sure.
Is that hard, or is that just something you have to deal with at this level?
That's something you're going to have to deal with in the SEC, period. You think about the job that Jamal Murray did with the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs in the previous year. One of the things that I noticed about guys in the SEC, because you've got over half of the league that has coaches that's been to the Final Four, you've got guys like Eric Musselman that's coming to this league, Avery Johnson's come into this league, so many guys from the NBA level, that you're going to see different looks. And so one night you're going to face the defensive Konzo Martin. The next night you're going to face maybe Rick Barnes. And so because of that, your game has to elevate. You can't stay the same. And that's what's happening with Cam Thomas right now. He can't stay the same. He's going to have to figure out how to move differently as defenses play him differently night in and night out.
Well, he is quiet, still found.
Did that make sense?
Yeah. Could have shortened that up a little bit for me.
No doubt.
But you got to it. Right. But,
It's like Google Maps. When you take that long route,
Yeah,
that's all that was. It was a long Google Maps.
Well, they go. Rip the net. Another three-pointer. Remember, this A&M team started 1 for 13 from behind the arc, and they get that one to go down as J.J. Chandler now has put together an 18-point game. His high this year was a dozen. He did that twice. And a corner three from LSU, right back at you.
Well, when you have a guy like J.J. Chandler, and when I talk about streaky guys, when they're shooting, you have to throw the numbers out. And so now you have to play a J.J. Chandler, if you're LSU, defensively, almost like you would play a Cam Thomas until he cools off.
J.J. Chandler chasing down a career high. 21, he had that a couple of years ago against Washington. Here's Savion Flagg. He just throws it up. Now LSU out on the run. 1-on-1. Devontae Smart lost it. It'll still belong to LSU. Hey, Sunday, we start another afternoon of women's basketball with Missouri and Kentucky. That game coming your way at 1 o'clock Eastern, noon Central. But there's also these games that will follow. 12-2 Alabama squares off against number 4 South Carolina. Then 22nd ranked Georgia is right here in College Station to take on 8th ranked Texas A&M. All those games coming up right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Georgia with a buzzer beater over Arkansas. An exciting finish in Stegman Coliseum on Sunday.
I thought you were going to talk about Don Staley and Aaliyah Boston. Young lady has got 2 triple-doubles already for South Carolina. How about those Gamecocks, Dave Neal?
They're just doing what they do. Dawn Staley.
Doing what they do.
That's it. They just win. They just win games. Texas A&M trying to win one. They've lost 4 of 5 and 2 in a row. LSU, though, up by 8 as Gordon cuts it to 5. Another 3. They are 8 for 23 now after that 1 for 13 start.
You see the three-point field goal percentages right now for both teams. And LSU, a team that at times plays to the level of their competition. I would say tonight, Texas A&M's leveling up.
Here's Emmanuel Miller, their leading scorer, sits with 2 points. Can't get that to go. Good hard work underneath, though, by Jackson Robinson.
Outstanding job on the offensive glass. The Aggies look like the tougher and more aggressive team right now.
Remember, LSU led by 17 in the first half at 35-18. A foul out on the perimeter on Robinson. But that'll get us to a break. LSU up 3 here in the second half.
Yeah, they're up 3, but Andre Gordon exemplifying like the rest of the Aggies. Buzz Williams says this the
Big 12 are ranked in the top 10 with Texas, Baylor, and Texas Tech. Throw Houston in there. 4 teams from Texas in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, well, it's so much talent in the state of Texas, but you've got outstanding coaches down there as well. And the Big 12 SEC Challenge is something that I think the country has begun to look forward to every single year, and it will be no different this year.
Javonte Smart found a little seam. He now has 11. He's the third Tiger in double figures. Thomas has 19, Watford 11. Smart now with 13. And it's a 5-point game. It'll belong with Texas A&M. Only 8 seconds on the shot clock. How about Emmanuel Miller? We've talked a lot about Chandler and Flagg off the bench with 35 points between them. But Emmanuel Miller, their leading scorer, 16 points a game, only 2 points, and has 1 rebound.
Yeah, and only a couple of attempts. The one thing that happens, it's similar to when you talk about Cam Thomas. When you are at the top of that scouting report, it's just a challenge night in and night out, Dave Neal.
Well, Hefner buries the three-pointer. The freshman with his 8th 3 of the year. LSU misfires there. Here come the Aggies back the other way. Tapped around, won by Texas A&M. Miller kept it alive. Gordon trying to find a little bit of room on Wilkinson. Can't do it. Watford on Gordon. Deep 3 on the way from Jackson. What in the world's going on with A&M shooting a 3-ball?
Listen, when you gain confidence, it changes the trajectory of the entire basketball game. And LSU has allowed the Aggies to gain confidence right now.
It's their first lead of the game. They've hit 9 of their last 12 3-point shot attempts. And they trailed by 17 in the first half.
Well, this is good penetration by Gordon. And Javonte Smart was there, but he wasn't there, right? And again, it goes back to those numbers that I talk about. You can look at scouting reports. You can look at records. You can look at percentages. You have to defend the way your opponent is playing on that given night. Good double.
Off the mark, rebound into the hands of Jackson.
Outstanding activity that time. The double team, and they sprayed out to the shooters.
They get Miller on a post up. He's doubled. Shot clock at 8. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy what's going on with the 3-point shot for Texas A&M. They lead by 4 after Jackson knocks home another one. Timeout, LSU.
Got to look at the eyes, Dave Neal. Look at the eyes. It's like when he was at his old basketball goal by himself. He's feeling it. Just give it to me, Q. A&M up 4. Involved with the Southeastern Conference. You have to be excited about your leadership, the job that he did, the torch being passed from Commissioner Mike Slide to Commissioner Greg Sankey, and I think he's doing an outstanding job. When you look at the games that are being played in this league, and the job is being done.
It was an awesome football season, to say the least. A lot of storylines. So glad we got to the finish line Let's get to the finish line with this basketball season.
Dave, it's almost like when you look at LSU, they are so good offensively that they're hoping they can get you to a point where you'll quit, right? Where you'll give up because they're so lethal. But these Aggies just aren't giving up. They're continuing to fight. They're making it a possession game.
Hand check called on Darius Days, and they're doing it with the three seniors, J.J. Chandler, Savion Flagg, Quentin Jackson. Those guys have been struggling, but tonight they have led them to a 4-point lead. There's J.J. Chandler, Savion Flagg, and Quentin Jackson. They've really been struggling. Who's going to start to play as young guys? Well, these guys, other than Jackson, he got to start tonight, but J.J. and Savion came off the bench. But these guys have done the work, right? I mean, they have produced 43 of their 61 points here tonight.
And that comes after a game of having 0 points, right? And multiple minutes. So it's a different Aggie team with that leadership.
Timeout taken by Texas A&M as Quentin Jackson calls the timeout with a loose ball on the floor.
Backcourt of late, Jarkel Joyner now has continued to play well alongside Devontae Shuler. I'm interested to see how they'll match up against the length of Arkansas. Jalen Tate at 6'6", a really good defender. And then for Florida and Vanderbilt, 2 quick guards and 2 teams that are playing a much faster style. And particularly Florida has increased their pace of play, and I'm loving it right now.
Texas A&M comes in averaging, remember, 63 points a game. And it's even worse. That number is even worse in SEC games. They're averaging just 55 a game in conference play, but they put up 61, and we got just about 11 minutes left to play. LeBlanc kicks it back out. Cam Thomas.
Outstanding defense. And Dave, I'm a huge film guy. I try to watch at least 2 to 3 games a day. And as I was watching LSU's game against Kentucky, and then I watched the Aggies as well, to a certain extent, both of these teams play a matchup zone. And for our viewers, a matchup zone is simply where it's kind of like a switching defense. You just guard your area. But the Aggies were just in a better stance. They were more active. And LSU can play that way at times, but the Aggies have just been more consistent tonight, and that's the reason why they've got a 4-point lead.
Air ball from J.J. Chandler. But the numbers don't lie in this one. With 6 minutes to go in the first half, LSU led this game by 17, 35-18. Since that point, they have outscored LSU 43-22.
Well, now, on the other side for LSU, they are so good offensively that you have to defend them for 40 minutes. And so Texas A&M has proven that they go through droughts. LSU rarely goes through droughts. They've just got so many weapons. They typically can find ways to score.
But you can't keep turning it over.
No doubt about it. Give credit to the Aggies defense.
That's the 9th LSU turnover. Yard.
Woo.
The young man who won 2 prep school national championships. A freshman. Cam Thomas, just no room for him. A little bit of room for the 3 from Javonte Smart, who knocks it home.
Yeah, that time Savion Flagg tried to go for the offensive foul, but you can't do that against LSU. That's like trying to get a slip and fall lawsuit in a grocery store somewhere. Chances of that happens not going to.
Did you just go there?
Point guards in the SEC because he's surrounded by so much talent, right? Cam Thomas able to create his own shot. Trenton Wofford at times plays the point position as well at the point forward. But Javonte Smart is a tremendous leader. I just think he has to entice his teammates to have a greater sense of urgency on the defensive end, and he has to lead by example.
Corner 3, no good, but the rebound And put back by a coup, no good. Another opportunity, and it's good.
Prime example. Offensive rebounds, and just didn't have the effort to finish the defensive play.
So J.J. Chandler now up to 21. And for J.J., that is matching his career high from 2 years ago.
Woo. Well, for Coach Buzz Williams and the Aggies, they're just hoping this is not a one-night wonder. They're hoping he can keep that consistent.
His season high this year was 12. He has just blown the lid off of that one. 5 of 12 from behind the arc for J.J. Devontae Smart trying to answer back. Clanks it off the back of the rim, and there'll be a foul against LSU as LeBlanc reaches in. I mean, Fish, LSU's shooting 48%. 91% at the line, 11 out of 12, but yet they trail by 6. It's crazy when you start looking at these numbers. 19 assists on 21 made baskets. You'd think they'd be winning by 15.
Yeah, I mean, at times when LSU plays, they look like the NBA guys when they work out in the summer league. Meaning they just don't really guard. It's kind of, you know, that just wasn't guarding there. Now, they may get the rebound, but there wasn't a contest there. There wasn't, a sense of urgency on the defensive end, and they can do it. Give credit for the Aggies because they are trying to guard, but they just can't defend LSU. Who's too talented on the offensive end.
Well, we've seen it a bunch here in the last few minutes of this game, really the second half. Texas A&M getting into the paint offensively, creating the opportunity for a shot at the rim or kick it out. We just saw that kick out a moment ago. Couldn't finish it. See what LSU does here. Down 6. But we'll have to wait till after the break. Our under 8 media timeout. LSU is down 6 on the road.
Fact. And so I say that now because this is the time of the year that everybody's got all these goals. They want to win an SEC championship, a national championship. They want to win the SEC Big 12 challenge. They want to score more points. If you don't have a plan to get you to that destination, then it's not a goal at all. It's simply an illusion.
No illusion there. Cam Thomas buries the 3. That was their plan out of the timeout, and it worked.
No doubt about it. LSU is a team that, and you mentioned off air, Dave, they've got 4 guys that are playing around 30 minutes. So I think some of what we see from a lack of intensity at times is maybe them trying to save some energy. I was like that sometimes as a player. You try to, you get in a gate sometime where you don't want to exert too much energy because you're trying to save up for when you think you need it. You can't win games like that on a consistent basis.
They bounced that inbounds pass off the back of Watford, but the ball came free. Nice
Beautiful
look inside. Darius Days. (66-65). Saved in the corner. Shot clock down to 1, and that'll be a violation.
Solid job. We've been talking about LSU stepping it up on the defensive end. I thought that was a nice trip. It was good activity, good contest, and it's allowed LSU to be in a position where they can still win this basketball game on the road.
LSU having trouble getting it inbounds. They find Watford. Smart to Watford. Not a good pass, but it's kept alive by Smart to Days. Catch and shoot on the way from Thomas. That won't go. Thomas with 22, right on his season average.
Thought Thomas was a little off balance on that shot. Should have gathered himself.
Gordon, no good. Kept alive by Marfo. Well, almost a takeaway by Thomas. Shot clock down to 6. Gordon. No good, and that rebound right into the hands of Eric Gaines.
Remember what we talked about in the first half, the ability or lack thereof for the Aggies get substantially above 75 points. And I say that now because if you're the Aggies, this isn't bad if you can continue to get stops against LSU. You've already had guys, as you mentioned, about the seniors really step up and play, from Xavier Flagg, J.J. Chandler. But what you're going to have to do is defend LSU for this next 5 minutes, because they are very much capable of still getting this game to 70 or 80 points.
Well, to put that in perspective, Texas A&M hasn't scored 70 or more points since December 21st against Wofford. Their high against an SEC team is 68. They did that against Auburn. Here's Watford. Double team, kick it out. 3 on the way. Off the front of the rim. Good box out underneath by the freshman Hayden Hefner.
Well,
allowing
they've taken
a coup.
Dave, they've taken Watford out of the basketball game. They said, we are going to double team Trendon Watford and make LSU beat us from the perimeter. And it's working.
A&M has this lead without their leading scorer producing much offensively. Emmanuel Miller averages 16 points a game, 8 rebounds. He's 8th in the conference in scoring, 3rd in rebounds. But tonight he's got 2 points. And a turnover by LSU. Oh, they're going to call the foul on Hefner. Excuse me. He thought he created the turnover, but that'll send Watford to the free throw line.
That's a huge call. And I think the correct call. Pat Adams, a tremendous official. And I think he really ran in to make his point, that he was right there on the call and that he truly thought that Hefner was hanging on to Trendon Watford a little bit.
Watford 75% at the line. LSU 11 out of 12 at the free throw line. They lead the conference in free throws made and attempted. And they are number 1 in free throw percentage as a team at 75%. That's a good combination. When you can do all 3 of those things, lead them in makes, attempts, and percentage, that's generally going to bode well for you.
Watford the offensive, Dave, the offensive end has not been the issue for LSU at all. It's this other end that they have to continue to work on here down the stretch.
LSU leads it by 1. Here's Miller. And he almost threw it away, but saved by Jackson. Jackson in the lane, and they're going to say a foul right as he got to the free throw line. That'll be the second on Trendon Watford. And that is just the 4th team foul. Actually, the 3rd team foul against LSU this half. Here's Miller. Offensive foul. He got that elbow up.
Yeah, and that's tough to do as an offensive player. Listen, he's frustrated tonight. These are the two guys we highlighted, Emmanuel Miller and Trendon Watford. And that time he was just trying to use that left elbow to clear out some space. It kind of connected to the back of Cam Thomas's head. And for the young sophomore, we talked about it before, when you're on the top of that scouting report, it makes it hard for you to manufacture points. And LSU's done a nice job of taking him out of this basketball game.
Tigers up by 1. Freshman Gaines getting some late game minutes. Number 25 for LSU.
They've noticed A&M right now in a matchup zone, but doing a nice job of keeping the ball in front. But there goes that offense.
And Gaines sets up his teammate, freshman to freshman, as Cam Thomas knocks that one home. And Cam now with 25 points.
Huge reason why LSU is on this 10-0 run. This is what we talked about. Can the Aggies get over that 70 number?
Well, they're going to have to if they're going to win this game now. Foul on the floor. LSU has reclaimed the lead, Fish.
Yeah, nice job of DR getting out and defending. Not a bad close, but a better shot by Cam. 338 could put up 10 or plus points and get it into the high 80s. I just don't see Texas A&M doing that, so they're going to have to continue to try to get stops on the other end and continue to put game pressure on the Tigers if they want to win this basketball game.
Only twice this year has Texas A&M even gone over 80. They get to the logo there, and J.J. Chandler can't convert.
Big defensive trip here for the Aggies. Huge offensive opportunity for the Tigers.
Here's Watford. Guarded by J.J. Chandler, and Chandler almost had a takeaway. Got Watford across the arm. That is the 9th team foul against Texas A&M. 3rd against J.J. Chandler. Emmanuel Miller also has 3. Watford at the free throw line, where he's a 75% foul shooter, and that one's off the back of the iron.
Big miss.
Yes, huge. So a win for A&M. Boy, look at the drought clock on the right-hand part of your screen there. We're closing in on 6 minutes. A rebound to O'Neal.
And that's what I think Sharif O'Neal, besides rim protection, running the floor, I think he can really help them in their rebounding, and particularly on the defensive end.
Step back 3 from Smart won't go. Days had his hands on it. Scraps on the floor. It'll belong to, let's see, LSU will get it. Boy, great hustle from Darius Days.
Darius Days is, he surpassed the glue guy. I think he is an essential guy on this basketball team. And sometimes they can mean the same thing, but what I'm saying is I don't know if LSU's proven they can finish their defensive possessions without him scoring. Without him finishing it with the rebound, and if they can score without him stretching the floor. Wow.
Robinson just picked up his 2nd foul. He can't believe it. LSU will definitely take it as they head back to the free throw line again. They are 13 out of 15 as a team at 86% tonight. And the SEC's leading free throw shooter gets that one to go down. Hey, coming up next, the SEC Now team will have a complete breakdown of all the games tonight. Came down to the wire, and every one of them, all 4 of them. And we'll also have interviews with coaches and players. It's coming your way when we are finished here on this very network and, of course, the ESPN app. Fish working double duty tonight.
Supposed to keep it on the down low, Dave.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
That was my twin in that picture.
World can't handle two of you now.
I'm not falling for that trap. Can't pump me up, Dave Neal.
Xavier Flag off the back of the iron. Boy, he had such a great first half, but really nothing to show for it here in the second half. LSU has pushed this out to 7. LSU has won 7 straight in this series. They got off to a great start here tonight, led by 17 with 6 minutes to go in the first half, but A&M clawed back and actually got the lead here in the second half. They led it 66-65, but they have been sitting on that 66 mark since then. Both these teams have lost back-to-back games. That's off the front of the rim. So all that mojo they had on the three-point shot late in the first half, going into the second half, they have lost it. They are now 12 out of 36. 36 three-point shots for A&M.
Well, that well has ran dry at this point, and so if you're A&M, the three-point shot going down might look pretty, but right now you need to try to get to the basket and try to score while the clock is stopped.
What great effort from Sharif O'Neal. Kept it alive and will head to the free throw line. Remember, he's coming back. Looks like he's limping again. He had a hurt foot, missed some time. He's just getting back. They're trying to work him in slowly. Played a little bit last game, but got hurt in practice. Boy, he is in some pain right now.
Yeah, he's just trying to find his way, and you know he's obviously from the genealogy that he's going to have an incredible basketball IQ. You can tell he's got a desire to play, a good athletic figure and skill set. But again, big guys usually, their maturation is a little bit slower than guards. And so for him, being back home, I think is something that's good for him, where his father played. And over time, he will continue to reach the expectations that have been set for him.
Corner three on the way. Look at the scoring drought now. It's up to 7 minutes and 15 seconds and counting for Texas A&M.
And where's the score, right? 75-80 for LSU. You're going to need to score 70 points to beat LSU, period.
Here's Cam Thomas sitting on 28 points. His season high is 32. Guess where he got that?
Well,
against this Texas A&M team.
We know if we watch the first half, right?
Yeah. You were all over it. Cam Thomas, though, picking up that foul, his first. He's 28 points on 21 shots.
MJ type numbers, isn't it?
But, you know, again, he also finds a way to get to the free throw line a lot, and he's such a good foul shooter. I mean, he's 9 out of 9 at the line. Buzz Williams wants a timeout, but Cam Thomas, LSU team, trying to snap this 2-game losing streak. They had won 4 straight before losing their last 2. They lost to Alabama. Of course, Alabama setting records with three-point shooting at 23 against LSU that night. And then Kentucky beat them 82-69 in their last outing. Under a minute to go. And a foul out on the perimeter. And that's going to go against Trendon Watford. That'll be number 4 on number 2.
Dave, right now for both of these teams, obviously 54 seconds left is an eternity in the game of basketball, but with the drought and struggles A&M has had, they're going to need some help from LSU turning over the basketball and making some careless fouls, which is what LSU is doing right now.
O'Neal picks up his third. Eric Gaines will check in for Will Wade. You know, Will Wade was talking to us yesterday. Or actually, it was this morning. Felt like yesterday, but it was this morning. You know, he said, hey, man, listen, we just had a bad week. You know, everybody in this league has a bad week. So don't just count us out yet. Now, certainly there are some things that LSU is going to take away from this that, you know, that you're going to have to be better at. But it's a lot easier to look at your warts after a win, right?
Sure. Well, and for LSU, it's not as much about them having a bad week. It's about the expectations after winning the league a couple of years ago, having talent like Javonte Smart, Trevor Wofford, Cam Thomas, Darius Days. There's high expectations for this LSU team. And to get beat, how they got beat was the story because of the potential that everyone knows that LSU has.
So, look, they're big four tonight. Smart 19, Watford 13, Days 11, Thomas 28. I mean, they came to play. A&M gave them a run for 30 minutes, but you know what? You got to play for 40. They've been stuck on 66 now. What is it, up to 8 minutes and something now that they've been on this scoring drought? I mean, it's 8:47 without a point. 8:47.
Well, and you have to give some of that credit to LSU turning up their defense as well.
Yes. LSU wins it 78-66 on the road. Will Wade, a happy man. They snapped the 2-game streak. They pushed their record to 11-4, 6-3 in the league. A&M 7-7, 2-6. So for Damian Fishback, the rest of our great SEC